Welcome back to another episode of Day to Day with Daydream, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have with me again Mr. Jason King, credit professional and amazing father, also my mentor. How you doing today, Mr. Jason?
I'm good. I'm pleased to be here. We're gonna chop it up, get some good game today, drop some gems.
Drop some gems. I think that video last time we did was pretty good, man. I looked back at it and I was like, man, it came out better than I thought. So I'm glad to have you back on the show.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that 90% of people underestimate the importance of connection?
Yeah, I pretty much can figure that the way society is based today, we are almost null and void when it comes to connection and communication.
You know what? I can agree more. And, that can lead to, and what this topic is going to be about is the connection of crisis and man loneliness and social isolation. And I can give you some of the factors that contribute to that. One of them is societal expectations, which we can get into today, lack of close friends, digital disconnection, which is with the phones.
Mm-hmm.
I think the phones are taken away from the face-to-face connection, and everything is now online, which is
desensitizing.
Exactly. And role models, which you hit on that pretty much a lot, man, a lot. So I have a question for you today. And my first question is going to be, what role do you believe men should play in promoting gender equality or challenging harmful stereotypes?
Well, when it's like gender equality, masculinity is getting attacked. So when you look at how the role is going, they want a genderless society. So I'm always gonna reference the Bible. God made two sexes for a reason, for us to procreate and be fruitful and multiply. So I always want to be, men need to support men. Women can support women, but when we come together, we support each other. We don't have that. We have like men say something geared towards destroying women. Women say something geared towards destroying men. It's propaganda and it's a lot of bullying.
What can you say? So I do notice that men don't really have a community they can fall back on. And on the internet, a lot of men don't support other men. So in your opinion, what can a man do, or how can we build a community to help support men?
Well, when I was younger, my father's friends were always around. So he would bring camaraderie. He'd invite his friends over. What I know right now is that the level of camaraderie with men and comfortable relationships with men is kind of iffy because we don't know if the okay, they do something, then they acting gay or they acting weird or dude touching and doing stuff. It's so much. I guess we could say so much sensitivity in this world to a man's interaction or affection towards other men. It can be thrown the other way. So men are just really like, nah, I'd rather do stuff by myself. And that's a terrible way of thinking because men can't really survive in an environment like this by ourselves at this time. It's destructive. The suicide, like you say, the suicide rates for men are going up. It's a lot of groups like self-help groups out, but we do have bad examples of men. Like I told you, it's like 4 tiers. We got the drug dealers, and now we got the high value men. Then we got the weirdos, pedophiles, and women can go under that too. It's weirdos, just people doing all stuff. And then you just got the good men. The good men always go last when they should be first.
What group out of the groups that you name, which one do you think promotes the worst toxic masculinity out of those groups you named?
I'd have to group the first two together. I can't separate them because I'd be like, we got celebrities and all these actors and all this stuff. Now we got the red pill society, and it's like it's a destructive message on one hand, but on the other hand, it is a message that some men need to hear. Like, you need to be masculine, you need to be strong, you need to have boundaries and set boundaries for yourself.
Right.
You need to be a man.
Do you think that red pill content is influencing toxic masculinity?
Well, one, I don't really think it's a such thing as toxic masculinity. I just think it's just bad men.
Mm.
Like because when you say toxic masculinity, we gonna bubble everybody under one
Okay.
envelope.
So when you say bad men, and not previously in the other episode, you said it's a learned behavior.
It is.
So who
So
do you think they're learning this behavior
they
from?
learning it either they learn it from the environment that they're in,
Okay.
or their fathers, but most time we'll have a situation where then they don't have a father to look to, so they look to the streets.
Mm.
So if the streets mold a man, that man is going to be corrupted off the gate. He coming in only knowing bad things. As far as like when I grew up,
Mm-hmm.
even though I was in, halfway out, because I was dealing with the streets and I wasn't dealing with the streets. My father and my mother had a battle with me in the streets, because most people don't know that I love the streets. if it ain't nothing, like, I just, the excitement of it, the doing this, running, doing chasing. I listen.
You did it all.
I did stuff that could have got me put in prison for a very long time.
So would you say that it's the man's fault for the conditions of his environment, and should he be held accountable, or like you said, they should not should they get a learning curve, but is it their fault? Do we blame them, or do we just try to put out the proper guidance?
I won't blame. I'm not gonna force all of the blame onto the man. I will put the propaganda and the way that things are going. It's a social structure. It's a system that's being played. So you can actually put people in a different environment and have different results. So it's not the man's fault. It's the environment. Wherever you are, is what you will become. Once you leave that area, you will start seeing different things. That's like when we go out, I make sure to tell you, hey, let's go to this place instead of going there. Let's go here instead of going to this place. Because I'm like, even though sometimes it bothers you because you want to buy things, I'm saying, okay, so it's not me telling you to go in there to buy things. It's me getting you cultured for each environment.
Right.
So like when I take my son out, when we'll go to Louis Vuitton, we'll go to Gucci, we'll go. See, we look at these things as high society, but we have to make it as a norm. Okay. That we can go in. Like everybody, like, don't support these brands, don't support this brand. No, get enough money so you can buy whatever you want to buy, and then go about your business.
Okay. In your view, what can society do to better support and understand the diverse experiences and perspectives of men?
Society itself, society is doomed. Social media has desensitized most people.
Okay.
As far as men need to be able to take their children and okay, this is the time where I'm gonna take your phone and I'm gonna turn it off. We gotta have daddy son time, daddy daughter time. You need to be your job as a father is endless, because you see how I deal with my son.
Yeah,
it never stops. His mother will text me something. Soon as he does something, I'm on it.
So in a way, you're kind of saying that men in the household or outside the household should become more of orientate his image more of around a family man.
Yeah, it has to be. Okay,
let's talk about this, because it's not as easy as that sounds. But I understand the message. I understand to reevaluate your image and become more of a family man. That can help a lot with society. But let's think about how hard that can be.
Yeah,
and the challenges it can be, because I know I've seen how hard and what men have to deal with when they're no longer in a
relationships are very, very, very difficult for men. We work extremely hard, and we don't get any,
Recognition or credit.
recognition because, okay, the thing about this, women don't want men that don't have women. So once you get a woman, then it attracts more women to you. So you're constantly saying no.
Right.
No to other women every day. Like when I was married, it was a it was a nightmare. I was like, listen, I was just like, and my wife would see other women approaching me and talking to me, and like, again, women don't want to admit this thing, but that jealousy is right is on a whole nother level in females than it is in males.
Okay.
They compete. They get angry at other women for having the same thing on as them. Men, we won't even run. Yeah, I like what you got on, player. I know where you got that, but we'll pound it, but not females at a sense. Sometimes they be like, I don't like what she got on. She got what I got on, because they want to be unique, and they want to be looked at all the time. So,
but I mean, if they have a man, well, I guess it's just me being logical, right? And I got to be able to step in and out of that. But if I'm with you, and I have eyes for you, and you know this, because I consistently try to prove this to you throughout the relationship, right? I don't think that should be a worry in a woman's mind. But women are competitive, and they have a competitive nature, and there's nothing we can do about that. But consistently overwork to give reassurances.
My dad told me this: whatever you did to get her is whatever you did to keep her. You're gonna continuously have to
do that,
set that standard with that lady. As far as outside attention, you have to be mindful and set your boundaries in the beginning. Like, remember I told you, we set the standards. So as far as things that you will not deal with,
how should a man properly set his boundaries?
So you have to sit down and have a conversation. And that's another thing. Like I say, we as adults, like I say, a lot of us are not adulting. They're not getting past. I think men get like to the 8 are like, once they get out of college and they don't use their stuff, they revert to 8th graders, and women revert to they go to like 12th graders. So we have children in relationships not talking. Like, you'll see women say, "You're supposed to know." How am I supposed to know? I literally cannot read your mind.
Not only that, here's the problem with that. If a man doesn't have experience before you, how is he supposed to know anything? And then, like, you don't want to tell him, or you feel like you shouldn't have to tell him?
Well, again, like I said, and it's all in your approach. Like, when I put you on books like The Superior Man, you already see in a sense of how you approach that. If you don't do something right, acknowledge that you didn't do something right, but then come back and confront and comfort her.
Okay.
And letting them know, okay, yeah, I'm human too. I'm human too. I make mistakes. So, but I do apologize, I won't do that again. And then grab and hold your lady and be there for her. A lot of stuff is sex. So many of these women right now just want to be looked at, and I like, you know, when we go to the gym, we see all of the women, like, we literally see this stuff all of the day. They so oversexed. I'm like, you got so much tight stuff on, you can barely breathe. But and then and the excitement, and you have all of this garbage on, and then you got a man, and just like we saw one girl in the gym with 2 boyfriends.
Well, when you see something like that,
it's amazing.
I'm not even mad at her. I feel bad for the guy, of course, but I can't even. They didn't do nothing but upset me. Like, not because of what she did, but because, like, man, I was that guy.
Yeah.
I was that guy, and that ruined my appetite. Like, when I went out to eat after that, I was like, man,
that's wild.
yeah, I was just that. It just feel. It's just a sense. It make you relive your past.
Yep.
Seeing that,
and that's what it comes in, that where men get into isolation. We'll go in and like, we're not supposed to feel. We're supposed to be numb all the
yeah.
time. I'm like, that's not the way that it works.
You know, it seems like a man's life is full of pain,
It is.
and it shouldn't. I don't think it should be like that.
We're not getting a very square deal, because if you look at how society is, if something goes wrong, they literally have a saying: save the women and children first.
When the children first, yeah.
The man is always left to die. Insane.
When you think about it, I remember I asked you that question before, and you told me it's insanity because because why do I have to die for somebody I don't even know?
Exactly.
You know, and that stuck with me, like, because you see it in these movies,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he was like, well, why should I have to die for somebody I don't even know?
Don't even know.
And I can understand your woman and child. That's
But other somebody else is under the child, somebody that don't even appreciate your life. It's like we're taught such ridiculous things.
Right.
We're taught such ridiculous things, and it's like it doesn't even make sense sometimes. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think it's a double entendre when it says to be a man, like, right, and this can mean so many things, right? So you can be playing a sport and get hurt, right, and you can have a threatening injury, and then the crowd will cheer you on for being a man and getting back out there, right, which is insanity. And then you have in times like that, will be a man and let the women and children go first.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a term thrown out so loosely, right? And we just got to get an accurate handle on that.
But this is look at how society deems blood sports, boxing, MMA. Right?
Yeah.
These are sports that men literally risk their lives. That you are the dumbest of the dumb if you are doing these things. It takes 6 pounds of pressure to give you brain damage. Brain damage. You can be a normal functioning man and get hit in the back of the head, and you will be mentally challenged after that.
6
pounds of pressure.
6 pounds of only 6 pounds
of pressure. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Your brain is mush. Your skull, if somebody hits you in the back of your head and your skull knocks up back and forth, it's a wrap.
Well, how hard would you have to hit somebody?
I already told you.
With 6 pounds, but you got think about it, you got a 5-pound weight in your hand. You would have to swing that weight pretty hard to give somebody brain damage.
No, you just got to hit them in the right spot, and it's a wrap.
Mm.
You know, we have soft spots in our skulls. The back of our skulls are more susceptible to damage than the front. So we have things like that, and this is what I say. But we have blood sports like that deem them supermen. That's insane. These people shortening their life expectancy. Football. You look at football. What we looking at? I look at these things as a Roman cathedral. You know, Sparta. Are you not to entertain this dude in the middle of the thing fighting lions and stuff? That's the same kind of dumb activity as this. It is stupid. We wasting our time watching people kill each other on a field. The life expectancy of a football player is 54 years of age.
I didn't know that.
That's why they retire when they like 30 something. Their bodies are high school, college. Then they got at least 8 years of pro or 10. And then after that, their body become mush.
Okay. That's interesting, man. That's definitely
insanity.
Interesting. Yeah, so I want to backtrack a little bit about going back into the relationships, right? In your opinion, what are some of the unique challenges men face in maintaining emotional intimacy in romantic relationships?
Emotional intimacy. But listen, this is things. Intimacy with a woman, romance, is gone now. We trying to get it in. We trying to put it in the hole as soon as we meet them. We don't romance.
Okay, but that's not every man,
bruh.
But I do understand that the men who are just out there doing that are doing it for the good men, which is the reason why good men don't step up.
They out here tricking. They not taking no time to deal with no woman. They paying for it. They not wasting no time.
But every man don't got the money for that.
But the tone,
most men don't have the money for that.
But the tone has been set. But the tone has been set. Pay my bills, pay my light bill, pay my rent. You hear females saying this.
You hear some, but you have some that don't, right? I think you run into a pretty fair share, 50-50.
What's the statistics of women sleeping with the same men, Adrian?
It's 10. They sleep with 10% of they sleep with 10% of men. The same 10% of men.
They sleep with the exact same men. What's the percent of men that are virgins? From 18 to 25.
18 to 25. This number's pretty high. I think it's above 30.
Above 30. So that proves to me they choosing the same loser. They choosing the same dude, and this man or whatever, this model of man, be it drug dealers, athletes, some actors.
So what is a nice guy supposed to do then? What is he supposed to do? Like you said that we can't leave masculinity in the hands of those groups of men and the good men to step up. But what are they supposed to do?
Bond together and destroy. Like I told you, the men that are good are gonna have to become greater. They're gonna have to become stronger. They're gonna have to become elite. They have to separate themselves from fools.
But all of that just to not be chosen.
It doesn't matter about them being chosen.
At the end of the day, it's up to the female.
It doesn't matter about them being chosen. It's the matter of you taking away the dirt, the scum, the bad. You got to get rid of the bad.
So you want us to go to war with the men who are leading the patriarchy? Basically, is what you're saying. Men ain't to fight men.
To fix the world. Fix the world, you're gonna have to. It's either good and evil. It's no other way. If evil keep ruining, you see how the world is now. You see it.
So not only are men not able to reap the benefits of a romantic relationship because women don't want to choose them, but then you expect them to go to war with the patriarchy.
No, I'm not saying go to war with the patriarchy. You saying go to war with the patriarchy. I'm going to go to war with these assholes. I'm talking about
and they at the top of the patriarchy.
Well, you got to get them from being at the top of the patriarchy.
So
you can't. This is what I tell you.
You're gonna be nice to those men and be like, hey, stop it. You're not being.
No.
So what are you supposed to do?
Kill them. What do you think, bro? What you talking about? What are you talking about? It's no answer. It's no question.
So you want to go to war with the patriarchy?
No, the patriarchy is going to exist between either good or bad men. That's not the problem. The patriarchy is there to protect.
Okay, but you got to understand that the man at the top of the patriarchy are the man you're talking about.
I don't care.
So that's who's running those type of men.
So they are in positions of power. What do the good men got to do? Get in positions of power.
Okay, but exactly. We saying it like it's easier said than done.
It is.
Like look at everything we going through to get to what we, and then you want us to.
Okay.
Like you're gonna have some resources. You're gonna have some resources.
Let me explain this to you. Okay. Let me make sense of this. Okay. Who would you think is weaker? You would think a geek that invented the gun is weaker, or
the person using it?
The
person using it is weaker.
Okay. That's why. So the people that are smart, the good people, the geniuses, will come with the people that are good. They'll come together to find a way to stop this foolishness.
I got an idea. How about me and you just go on a solo mission and pull everybody's strawman account at the top of the patriarchy?
Boy, I ain't gonna even do all that, bro. Just like
that's what you're talking about. I mean, we can do that.
No,
we can call the United States District of Commerce and we can handle that. Because I mean that the pen and paper is mightier than the sword. They won't be able to get anything. Let's go put bonds on their strawman account. And they gonna be locked up.
I'm gonna tell you something
simple. We ain't gotta leave the house.
But our okay, if they go into our prison system, the prison system is going to make them even worse of monsters.
I'm not saying in the prison system. When I say lock up, I mean you won't be able to get a house, car, credit, job, none of that stuff.
What movie did we watch yesterday? The Wolf of
Wall Street.
You see all the you see all the destruction that he did, right?
And didn't pay any of it back. He didn't pay any of that restitution.
Didn't pay none of it back. Got out of jail, started selling his story, wrote a book, made $150 million. It's no way in on earth that man should be out of jail.
Which is why, if he had a ball in his Charmin account, that would be impossible. He won't be making anything.
We couldn't even no. We too lenient on me. We too lenient on bad men. We don't think that we are, but our society is lenient. Go to another country that's not America and see what they do to bad men. You go to Dubai and touch something still, they're gonna cut your hand off.
Yeah.
That's the type of the good men in this world have to become stronger. It's not, we're gonna have to become stronger. Stay good, be elite. The bad men cannot, they make whores out of our women. They talk to them crazy.
I see that, yeah, I understand that.
And we trying to blame, and like this is what I was trying to get you to. We try to blame we can blame the women for choosing them, but good Lord, but the 10% of the men that doing that, where's your mental at, bro? For you to be doing some type of stuff like that, what in your mind would make you see a man that has a wife and kids, and then you go sleep with that woman? What would make you do that?
Well, nothing should make you do that.
Nothing.
But if you want to attack it like that, you got to go back to how was their mother treated, and that's gonna answer that question.
Man, see,
that's gonna answer that question, because if you have
that ain't gonna answer the question.
So if
okay, this is what I'm saying. That's not gonna.
It's a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior. Who they learning from?
That's not learned. So okay, when somebody comes into wealth and status, it's only gonna bring out the bad that they already had in them. So if they would, the environment, you can't put it on the parent.
I'm not putting it on the parent. I'm saying, for instance, like if I had a child with a woman and we separated, I'm not gonna bring other women around my child. That's a non-negotiable. It's not gonna happen, because I don't want them to see. I don't want them to see anything. Like I'm gonna teach you how to. As a man, I'm gonna do my job and actually teach you how to take care of women. I didn't know that growing up. All I knew was, what my mom would tell me. But my mom wasn't bringing other men around the house, nor was she bringing men around me. Now that'll traumatize me as a young man. It will. I'm gonna call it ace and a spade if that was true. Right, I'm looking at men coming at the house with my mother. How do you think I'm gonna treat women when I get older?
Yeah.
So and it's an environment. It's the conditions of your environment. So you would have to go back to childhood trauma, and that can also follow you into adulthood and cause you to trauma bond with women.
Yeah.
So,
and that's a lot of relationships that'll happen. But see, this is what the resolve to that. When they get out of high school, they need to go straight to a therapist. That need to be something that before they even get into society, they need to go through a therapist.
They need
to have
a father and a mother in the same household. This is what they need.
They do.
So with men stepping up and being less passive, yes, and be more of a family man, but that fight is hard. I'm looking at women drag these men through the mud just to spend time with their children, driving 2 hours, 3-4 hours just to spend a day.
But again,
this a silent battle that men are fighting every day.
But they don't want to. But again, the good men have to speak up.
I understand that.
We can't be quiet, sitting, crying in a corner. Boy, let me tell you something, boy. Let me tell you something. Let me get on some G shit real quick. Boy, my one of my brothers helped one of his ex-girlfriends graduate college. Took the test for her to be a teacher. This creature, I ain't even call her woman because I lost so much respect. 2, 3 after she got the degree, broke up with him. My brother was sitting in the closet crying, balled up in the corner.
Damn.
Now what you think I did?
Confronted that woman?
Nope.
Confronted. Well, okay.
I went straight to him.
Right.
I say, you goofy bitch, you did that. You did that.
So you held the man accountable.
I held him accountable. You did.
I understand.
Now wait. Now after that, when I got him back together, we was on some shit. Cause then I went and confronted her. And I told her all this. I was like, this man took time out of you. He paid for the test. He did all this. You nothing. You are less. And and you know what she did?
I don't even want to guess, but tried to get back with him.
No.
What?
She sent me some pictures of her in her drawers and told me,
you lying,
bro. That turned her on because I checked her. She told me that. And I'm looking at her like, what is wrong with you?
That's insane.
But see, and this is why I go back to where I'm telling you, be more selective of the women that you deal with. You gotta be real selective nowadays.
But that come down to, like, if you had a man in your life to help you make decisions about women, like, how are you supposed to know or what to look for without the proper role model or male guidance in your life? This is not common knowledge. This is not something you're just gonna pick up and learn.
So let's take back onto the point, man, of the intimacy, because we're getting off topic real quick. So the intimacy between men and women is not the same. We don't court women as we should. You should go through courting.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I'm not talking about you. Get out of it. Stop it. I'm not talking about you. And you didn't do it. You still did it wrong. You still did it wrong.
I was courting, but here's the thing in my situation. Everything that I wanted in a woman, I found. I never asked the girl to be my girlfriend. So I was unfamiliar with the process and how long it should take. I did know it should take 3 to 6 months at least to get to know you.
That's the problem.
And she did everything right.
That's the problem.
Everything right.
That's the problem right there. The first thing that you just said, you looking for a girlfriend instead of a wife.
Okay, but how am I supposed to know what I don't know? Right? But she had wife qualities.
But okay, no, but she wasn't a wife. So again, when you looking at intimacy, your relationship, your conversation, you had conversations with her where you had red flags, you ignored them. You never set your boundaries.
That
you didn't. I didn't talk to you.
I didn't know proper. I didn't know she was my first girlfriend. I got no learning curve.
I know, but you got one now. You got one now.
I got no learning curve, so I didn't know what I didn't know. Now, meanwhile, she had experience with men.
Yeah.
So she was on this clock, and I'm like, listen, I'm not like other men, right? But that came up multiple times. I understand that.
You have to set the boundaries. And when you come to intimacy, when you taking them out on a date with a woman, like what I told you, when you meet a woman, what you supposed to do? You ain't never supposed to come to them empty-handed.
Yeah. I didn't learn that till later though.
Yep, but you know now.
I know now. I'm a way more authentic man now. Way more. And I know, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I shouldn't have never had to go through what I went through to understand.
Yes, you should have.
Nah, I don't.
Yes,
I don't. Because many men don't make it out of that.
And many men don't, but
many men
intimacy,
don't make it out of something like that.
like,
So I mean, like you shouldn't have to go through that much suffering. I would never forget the way I suffered while she enjoyed the company of somebody else. That probably will haunt me for the rest of my life.
no,
So,
it won't.
yeah, it will, because
no, it won't.
you expect me to give the next woman the benefit of the doubt? Be realistic.
I'm not expecting you to give the next woman the benefit of the doubt.
So why should I give her a chance?
I don't want you to do what women do to men. This is
I'm
what
not. Listen, hold on. Come on.
Because this is what now you gonna hold all women accountable for what one woman made. This is what women do to men. One dude can crush one woman and destroy all of them. This is what I'm saying. You can't just that give and take, that tit for tat. That's childish behavior. This is why I say you still 8 years old and she 12. Stop the bull. I ain't playing no games with you. Set the boundary. Hey, I told you not to do that. Kick rocks. Stop them because this is the thing. If you stop them from doing that, you won't have those problems. But see, this is when we get into intimacy.
Yeah. Okay. Listen. We
hadn't even got into intimacy. How you touch, hold, and
we finna get there. But I'm not holding no other woman. I'm not gonna sit up here. I haven't texted another woman since. I haven't been on a date, and I don't plan on it. So I'm not gonna do what she did to me to somebody else because I know what that feels like. But I'm not gonna talk to you. That's completely different. I'm going to leave you alone. Which is what I have been doing.
Yeah, but that's the isolation. You can't do that.
I'm not isolated. I deal with women every day. I just don't make it personal.
You don't make it personal, but you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see me, I deal with them, I flirt, I play, I do all, but at the end of the day,
I think that's misleading.
It's not misleading.
Because while I ain't gonna flirt with you, I'm not gonna sell you anything. I'm just gonna answer your question and go about my business.
I'm not trying to sell anything.
Only woman that I hurt is one. And that's because at the time I was immature and she pissed me off and I blocked her. That was the only thing that I did to ever hurt a woman. And I seen it within a few days. She came to the gym, I have never had that effect on a woman before. Give yourself
time.
But I'm serious. I'm not even dealing with women like this. I'm not. But my foresight is too great. I already know what and it's premeditated. I'm just gonna leave women alone because they want to be left alone. I answer your questions. I have conversations with you. I'm going to communicate. But as far as text you when I'm not
left alone,
they do want to be left alone.
No, you can't go off of what they say.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You already know what good man finished, and this is from the beginning of time. This is from the beginning of time. You know what good man finished. So why even participate in the rat race in the first place?
Why would you figure that? Why would you listen to history? Well, if good
men, numbers.
No, it's his story. It's not.
Yeah, true. I understand that his story.
Like good men,
I'm a walking testimony of what happens to good men. The moment a woman tells me
your testimony,
you're not like everybody else, I know what that means. The moment a woman tells me you're a nice guy, I know it's over. I know what she's gonna do.
Yeah,
I know what she's gonna do.
So that's why I tell.
Come on, and I'm not even mad at you. It hurt. I know how this is finna end. I understand that, which is why I'm going to leave you alone.
What do I tell women all the time about their friend zone garbage? I say I'm not your fucking friend. I'm not finna let you put me in a situation where you can use me and benefit off of me. Get out of my face.
But you eliminate that by leaving them alone.
No. I say if they wanna have in their mind that I'm their friend, they can have whatever they want in their mind. But you better come. But if you come around me and you doing all this hugging and stuff, I'm finna them cheeks. That's what's gonna happen. Cause I'm like, you already.
But a woman ain't gonna do none of that unless she don't got the green light. They don't even make the first move. So for her to be that comfortable in the first place, you've already done more than what you should have. So and that's what it comes down to. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you know, that's on you. I'm not sitting up here talking to women. I'm not sitting up here. I'm not giving them. I'm not doing nothing for them. Actually, the men in position and the reason why they feel the way they feel is because of what they went through to get to where they're going. But why? But what drives a man? I'm up, but I'm up. So what drive the man to do that? The love of a woman or the heartbreak of one? The woman has the potential to take you out of a dark spot or put you even deeper into it.
Yeah.
And this is why these men are hyper successful. These nerds, the people that got played, CEOs of these tech companies, all of these men, because of what a woman did to them. At the end of the day, let's call it ace of ace and a spade of spade.
I can't say that. I can't say that they took the pain of what a woman did to make them.
They use it as motivation. I'm not saying they took the pain of a woman and went to go hurt 10 other women.
This is what I'm saying. Steve Jobs didn't do that. He was broke. He wanted money. The dude that made Google, he was broke. He wanted money. It's not our innate drive cannot be sexual urges. And then from those sexual urges, we use that energy to go and coincide and build. Like my urges to be successful is not from sex. It's from me seeing society the way it is. And
I understand that. Mine isn't either. I'm not driven by sexual desires. It never was.
I see, but when I tell you this, not to socialize, not to deal with them, like I don't care about their little friend zone, whatever they want to do, whatever they want to play these stupid games. You let them play games. Children play games. What did I say? You're still dealing with children. When you find an adult woman.
Yes, they're out there. Good women out there. Every woman is not the same.
Every woman is not the same.
I understand that, but I can care less if you out there or not.
Hey man, this is what I'm saying.
So
like take this game, you better run with it. You gonna find millions of rocks before you find that diamond.
Understood.
All right.
But I don't want to find no rocks. I'm not looking for no rocks.
Hey, you're gonna have to roll the dice.
I'm not, bro, because it's double the women. If you look at the men and the women, it's 3 to 4 times the women in the United States than it is the men in this country. Some people gonna be out of luck. Some people dying alone. That's what it is. It's all these women out here. All these women are not gonna find partners. It's not enough men. Even if one man was to have one girlfriend, y'all gonna be out of luck. And that's not even going to another country.
Hey man.
So
we don't make the rules of society. We don't. We just live in it.
Right.
So
right.
Again, when I tell you the intimacy of men, so the problem with men, we out here guessing. Women, they out here guessing. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you women something. And I didn't dealt with a lot of women in my day, and my mother literally called me a whore. When I was in my 20s, he said, "You're gonna be a whore out here in the streets like your father." And I was like, wow. And that made me stop doing what I was doing. But some of you ladies are trash in bed. I don't know who keep telling y'all that you have the glorious box or whatever. You're horrible in bed. A lot of women are horrible in bed. And men, vice versa. Y'all are the same because y'all don't have mature talks when it comes to intimacy and sex. You're not having, hey, does this feel good? Does that feel good? Do you like when I do this? You're not having these conversations. We sit here and giggle and play and guess. Saying, yeah. So this is why people are having so many affairs and cheating and things, because you're not sitting down and talking to your mate.
Okay, so how do you I'm gonna ask you a question. How do you approach and support the women in your life, and the women in their life, in their personal and professional goals and aspirations?
Listen here, like,
because I see you do this a lot.
I teach them. Yeah. One, I'm gonna teach them. Then when I teach them, I'm gonna put money behind that teaching. Right. I'm gonna support their dreams. If they my woman, yeah, I'm gonna give them all of the support that I need, because when I do that.
What if they're not?
Well, that's even if they're not, they learned from me. So for the next man that's possibly gonna be whoever their husband be, they'll be in the step of being a successful wife. Okay. Now, is it gonna hurt me? Probably so. Is it a learning lesson? Always. But is it something that you should stop doing as a man? Never. Because we build women. It's no way around them saying that we don't, because they can come. We can date a woman at McDonald's, and then 2 years later, that woman can become a 6-figure something just by hanging around
The
us
right
and
man.
listening and then going and do what she need to do.
Okay.
It's not the same vice versa. A woman don't want to build the man. They want the man already successful. So and these are these conversations that you hear all on these. I don't want to bring this podcast and being like all these relationship podcasts with these lames getting up here talking about I'm a man. And I'm like, boy, you a lame, boy. You a rest haven for hoes. I already know what you doing, boy. You lame. You tricking off this money just like all the rest of them. You don't need to be like you do not need to lead. If you paying for your mate, you gonna always have to pay for them. When that money run out, they gonna run out too. And that's hey.
Can you share a personal experience where you learned something of value from a woman?
Listen here.
Other than your mother.
Other than my mother? Listen. My ex-wife has taught me to see the flaws in myself fully. Fully. Yeah, like yesterday.
That's a growth mindset right there.
Like yesterday. If it wouldn't have been for her, like when I got angry, I wouldn't have never known that I had a problem with people messing with my food. Like if somebody makes my food wrong, I didn't know that until I was with her, and she pointed it out. That's something I passed that down to my son. Like I didn't really even realize that until I was with her. We was in Houston's restaurant in New Orleans one time, and I ordered some pan-seared grouper. And they didn't give me the pan-seared grouper, but I did the exact same thing I did yesterday. I didn't say nothing to them. I wasn't upset. But I ate, but then after that,
energy was different.
My energy was different. Yeah. Now, so I really wasn't pissed at them, but I learned that from her. I also learned that my communication skills have to be better, because I used to just shut down and walk out. Men, you can't do that in a relationship. You cannot shut down. You have to sit and you have to be able to sit and hear them out. That's the thing about females. You can't cut them off. You gotta hear it. You gotta see it through, my boy. You gotta see it through. You gotta sit there and let them be heard. Let them be heard. Because you want to get to the resolution.
That brings me to my next question, and it says, what steps do you take to ensure that you are actively listening and valuing the voices and experiences of women in their conversations?
Heard, you got to let them be heard, let them understand, because then they're going to ask you something. What did I just say? If you wasn't listening,
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. So you have to repeat what they say. Like I got a friend, whatever. You already know. But every time I say something to her, I listen to her so much, I can recant stuff from years of what she said and say, she'll say something like, you think you know me. You think you know me. I say, I do. I say, I got a PhD in you. I know you. I ain't.
So what advice can you give men to help them actively ensure that they're listening to the women that they're dealing with, you know?
Stop thinking.
How can men help women be heard? This is my question.
Stop thinking it. Stop being in your head thinking you know everything. You gotta listen to them. If you don't, then they gonna get somebody else to listen to them.
You know, I'm gonna give my advice on this, fellas, and I think that what I've learned in my past is create a safe space for her to be able to share her experiences with you, and do not be a subjective listener, meaning don't pick out what she's saying and make an argument behind that. Don't do that. I made the mistake and did that, and I still live with it to this day, because she's going to think that you're making it about you and you're not. And eventually, when the space is no longer there for her to feel safe, she's going to emotionally check out, and then your woman is gone.
Yep.
And you won't even know. And by the time you do know and she tell you, it'll be too late for you to do anything about it. So that's my advice when it comes to making sure she's actively heard. Just make sure that you have a safe space for her to listen, for her to give her input and her opinions. Don't sit through and pick out, like, if she tell you how her day is, don't sit up here and bring up if she filled up
But
gas in her car or something that,
let me
like, don't pick out something in the conversation that
that's
has no relevant.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
So this is what I'll say for men. Like when you're dealing with your lady, when you sitting down and you talking to them, and they have a stressful day, don't be the person that says I don't care or you don't have time for it. Sit down. Put Don't be playing Madden. Don't play PlayStation. Turn the stuff off. Listen to her. Get out of eye contact. Listen to her. Just like D said, don't pick certain things out of the conversation. Make her feel like you are her person. She got to be your everything. You got to come to her and she got to be your everything. So, cause she's going like ever since a female been 13 years old, somebody been trying to fuck her. Let's be real. A man, we go through different things. As soon as we get 13, especially black males, we the enemy of the state. Everybody, we could die any time. So now with your mate, you want to put that good energy into your mate so she always happy. So when you have one of them days that you feel like you about to die, like society is beating you, she gonna come in and see it on you, hold you and hold you down. It's not like we not holding each other down no more.
Yeah.
We gotta be righteous. We can't be out here doing all of this, slut me out, all this garbage, bro. Chill. What you do in your bedroom with your lady, have the intimacy and the privacy. Y'all can do everything you want to do. Stop having your friends in your business. Don't take no advice from your ladies. Please don't take no advice from your girlfriends because your girlfriend's probably your worst enemy and they hate your relationship because they not in a relationship. Dudes, be careful taking advice from your homeboys if they single because they'll try to backdoor you because they know your girl and they comfortable talking to her. So you gotta be wise on these situations of who you bring around your females and your male counterparts.
Yeah. I made that mistake, you know, not knowing, and I didn't do the proper self-evaluation of my circle. I did my circle, right? And some people may think, you may think people have your best interest because they can see your full potential, and sometimes you can't. So
Mm-hmm.
they gonna ride. They gonna stick around for that ride, and then when the moment strikes, they gonna take advantage of it, and it's just gonna completely come from up. They're gonna completely take the rug from up underneath your feet, and you're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
blindsided by it. And I'm gonna put you on game. If a woman tells you, this is free game by the way. If a woman tells you she has a lot on her mind, all you gotta say is this: "I'm gonna come grab you. Let's go for a drive." And then
Let her talk.
let her talk. It's something about being in a car that's therapeutic, right? I'm gonna come grab you. Let's go for a drive. Simple, and then things will start to generate ideas. Ice cream, Ben and Jerry's, Target runs. Once you get them out of that environment, you're good to go. And always remember to put a woman in an environment that's cultivating.
Yes, sir.
Do not sit up here and, man, I can't tell you how many people took a woman through every scenario to see if they're gonna be loyal to them. Don't do that. Do not. Don't do that because it's gonna piss you off every single time.
Yeah.
It's gonna piss you off every single time. So be sure you put her in an environment that's cultivating and nurturing. Other than that,
Yeah, a lot of guys that do what you just say, they call it breaking a girl. You know what I'm saying? That's things that pimps do. You're not a pimp. You don't want to break a female that you're trying to make your wife. You don't want to keep putting her in so much stress. They in enough stress as is. This society is stress. You got social media distracting them. You go to work, They getting brutalized. They not getting paid right. You got dirty old men everywhere. You got a lot of stuff dealing with them the wrong way. So you gotta be more mindful. Listen, man, you gotta be men. Like I tell D all the time, it's a lot of cowards and fake men out here doing stuff. We do such horrible things to them when we young men. And then when we get older men, you still doing crazy stuff. Like when we gonna do right? So I'm like, when you see the righteous men, we look at them like they L7s, they squares. But these are the people that should be the model of society.
Mm.
But yeah, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I got some more questions going. Let's try to get out of here in this last couple of minutes because we got places to go.
Yeah, I'm looking at this question right now. So, okay, it says, what steps do you take to ensure that you are actively? I already asked that question. It's I skipped it. It's how do you navigate and challenge any bias or stereotypes you may encounter regarding women in their personal life?
Man, that's a hard question.
It's a hard question. Yeah. So I mean, man, but I mean, to get back, man, it's just
I try to, man, listen. Me going through relationships and stuff, man, like I said, that benefit of the doubt um, is crazy. I look at people just, hey, I'm not going to judge you.
You know what? I think that comes from men putting their negative experiences on the dating market.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, how do you sit up here and say there aren't good women out here when you ain't ran into them yet? Because
It's plenty of them.
If you did, you wouldn't be saying that.
It's plenty of them.
So I think that once it comes to those, you just gotta take it with a grain. Like you can, yes, have it in your mind and have your antennas up, but don't go into it and making this woman work harder than she should to prove herself to you.
That's what I said.
So
you know, like when I told you yesterday about that chick that we at Sharky's, and I was like, the vibe was off. As soon as I met, it was a different vibe. So while I was giving her all that, when she had or whatever she had on, and I was giving her all that attention, her vibe was insane. It was good high energy. But then when I came back, the vibe was just like, you know, she was like.
But sometimes I think men take that personal. It has nothing to do with.
Yeah, it don't have nothing to do with
you.
me.
Yeah, it can be something she's going through. But
yeah.
sometimes men take that personal.
But
right?
that's the thing though.
Yeah,
that's what we have. Like what we have. He emotions. We need to chill out with that sometimes, because people don't think that men get emotional, bro. We get emotional. We do all type of stuff. Like me yesterday, I got pissed off by some food, but D was like, "Hey man, you gotta chill. You gotta chill." But instead of me voicing my emotions, I just said to myself, "I gotta exit the premises because I don't want to act unaccordingly from the things that I've seen."
Yeah.
So I had to control my emotions by that. But even though my general atmosphere, because I got good energy when I meet people, and it'll draw people to me. But when that get around me energy come,
mm-hmm.
it explodes.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why men can be vulnerable is the societal expectations. The pressure that men have placed on them to be self-reliant
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, and tough. And they can't express anything that's challenging them.
Yeah.
So I guess that also comes with that isolation.
Yeah, being able to have another man to talk to.
Yeah.
Like we don't have.
It can save a life.
It can save a life.
It can save a life.
Because we don't have like that. We need more men's like groups, and just especially black men. We need some kind of brotherhood. Like me being in fraternities, like for the good part. When I'm with my frat brothers, when we do good stuff, we straight. Now, when it comes to the parties and all that stuff, that really ain't my scene. So I tried to stay away from all that. But as far as building up a community, building up brothers, I love that. Going around cleaning the community, helping people. We should actually be doing those type of things. So like when you see my son, when I tell him things and I do all these things, he don't even sound like a regular
sound
child.
like older than what he is.
Yeah, but that's
good.
me cultivating him to be a superior man. I can't have him lacking out here in this world.
Right. That's the importance of male guidance. So fellas, I want you guys to self-evaluate, and I want you guys to ask yourself this question and go down a rabbit hole. Why do men want sex and women need love? So why do men want sex and why do women need love? I want y'all to answer those two questions and go down a rabbit hole and see what you get. And I do recommend that book, The Way of a Superior Man. Yeah, it really helped me out. I haven't even finished it yet, but it really help you break down masculinity.
Yeah, get it in an audio book if you don't have time. You can listen to it. It's like 5 hours, but it'll help you.
Yeah. So if if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And it'll really help me out if you guys have a review on Apple Podcasts. But other than that, you guys have a great day.